leads us like a middle linebacker leads our defense in that regard. So, when we're double teaming and he's either splitting the double team or hitting the roller, getting behind the double team, to have Brown on the backside, commanding coverages, but also making charge type plays, block shots, and then defensively on the glass. He was huge for us tonight.
And how much did you think the offense was just correlated with that defense, Frank, and runouts and momentum and all that? And what did you think on that side of the floor?
Yeah, it's all tied together, and there's a lot of talk about, what we're not doing offensively. The last few games we haven't defended well enough. And because when we defend well enough and we get stops and the whistle doesn't blow and our offense is flowing in transition, we're able to attack before the defense is set. And I think you saw that tonight, especially in the second half. We stopped fouling and we ended up with 23 fast break points. That's when we're at our best.
Bill?
Frank, Dennis obviously had a good night scoring the ball, but where did you see his biggest impact in his first game back?
Yeah, it's really a two-way thing. He gives us a punch and he can make a shot and create a shot when we need when we have a little bit of a drought. But what he's able to do defensively for us, every time down the floor, whether he's on the ball or on the weak side, he just has great speed, great defensive tenacity, and it really sets the tone for us. So I would say that his impact was felt mostly on the defensive end.
Kyle?
Hey, Frank, I have two questions, but they're sort of related. One, in the third quarter, you guys had 5 steals, and LeBron had 3 of them. I was wondering what you feel like the big adjustment was specific to getting those turnovers. And then 2, you sort of touched on it, but, Mark and Dennis and Trez were not in that playoff series and, aren't familiar with what you guys did. What do you think that their integration on the defense in this game says about how they're kind of coming together with the group defensively?
Yeah, well, I think with those guys, they're trying to pick it up, and I think tonight was a testament of where we're at with that. We started slow, getting the ball sent where we want it, and as the game went on, in particular at halftime, that was a big focal point of our halftime film. Was just making sure we're sending Dame to our bigs and to the help, and once we got that communication from our bigs and got our guards really taking care of their side of it, we did a much better job in those pick and rolls, and that's what we're seeing with our bigs. They're growing within our system.
2012 to find a stat line like this with Josh Smith, actually, with the amount of points, rebounds, assists, plus 4 steals and 3 blocks. What was it on the defensive end tonight for you? What was the way of
just trying to do whatever it takes to help us get off this losing streak, and but that's always been my game. To be able to play both ends of the floor, hold myself accountable, and be there for my teammates. And tonight was an instance where I was able to, get some steals, get some blocks. Took a couple charges, and just trying to, be the voice and also act on action as well on the defensive end.
You guys had a certain game plan that worked pretty well against Dame in the playoffs last year. It seemed like you employed it, especially in the second half tonight. What's the key there for you and the bigs coming up to help in the guards, and how did the guards do with Schroder and Caruso specifically?
Well, you have to, because Dame has, Dame has unlimited range. So you have to be up on screens. Once he crosses half court, he is in his range. So, you have to have everybody up the floor, the guy that's guarding them and the guy that's guarding the pick and roll. It's going to be double drags. There's going to be single drags. There's going to be a lot of things that's going on in early transition. And when you're not, a couple instances tonight, he made us pay for it, coming off and letting it go. And when we got it right, we was able to execute it, to the best of our ability.
Dave?
LeBron, to go away from the court for a second, Zlatan, the soccer player, said that he believes that famous people and athletes such as yourself shouldn't use their platform to do anything other than what they're good at in their athletic endeavor. As someone who has promoted the idea of more than an athlete and trying to empower players to use their voice to speak on their communities, do you have any response to what he said?
Nah, absolutely not. I mean, because at the end of the day, I would never shut up about things that's wrong. I preach about my people, and I preach about equality, social injustice, racism, systematic voting, voter suppression, things that go on in our community because I was a part of my community at one point and seeing the things that was going on, and I know what's going on still, because I have a group of 300 plus kids at my school that's going through the same thing, and they need a voice. And I'm their voice. And I use my platform to continue to shed light on everything that may be going on, not only in my community, but around this country and around the world. So, if there's no reason, well, not I won't say no reason, but there's no way I will ever just stick to sports, because I understand how, how this platform and how powerful my voice is. And he can just ask Renee Montgomery, if I would have shut up and just dribbled. Seeing that beautiful black woman today, be a part of a group where she's part of an ownership group now with the Atlanta Dream down in Atlanta. And it's funny he say that, because I believe in 2018 he was the same guy who said when he was back in Sweden talking about the same things, because his last name wasn't a certain last name, that he felt like it was some racism going on when he was out on the pitch. Right? He did say that, right? Yeah. I thought he said that. So I speak from a very educated mind. I'm kind of the wrong guy to actually go at, because I do my homework.
Dan?
I can't ask you about anything else now, so. Along those lines, like, when you look around this league and you see a new generation of players not growing into their voices, but like coming to the league with them, having them, I'm curious, how does that make you feel? And are there any players in particular whose leadership at a young age really speaks to you?
Well, one, it makes me feel proud to be a part of a generation where our voices are heard and guys are speaking from an educated mindset. But more importantly, they speak from, I think when you speak from your heart, it rings bells even louder. And we got, a lot of guys that are speaking from the heart that didn't believe they had a voice at one point in time, or, now they're coming into it and they see that they can have a voice and that their voice really matters. So that makes me proud. And you see, guys like, Jaylen Brown, who's very, obviously he's educated beyond his years, and I love what he stands for in our league. And you see Pat Mahomes, also a younger guy, and Alvin Kamara, and in the NFL, and those guys speaking about things. They're young, but they speak about things that they feel like is unjust as well in their communities, and whatever that's going on in the whole grand scheme of things. So, as athletes, obviously we've been heard this for a long time to just. You should be privileged. You should be, you should be thankful, to be able to dribble a ball or run a football or be able to do a 100-yard dash or be able to, swing a baseball bat and things of that nature. You shouldn't be able to speak about anything else. No matter if it's right or wrong, you should just do that. But that's not the case. It's not the case anymore. And as long as I'm around, it won't be the case for a long time.
Got time for more, Calhoun.
Just on the game tonight, I was wondering if you'd speak to the impact of Dennis, but also just how much more fun do you guys have when you guys are playing connected that way and a little bit closer to being whole as a team?
Well, obviously Dennis gives us an automatic spark. His energy alone gives us a spark. His competitive nature gives us a spark. And